Okay, so we're back. Another sort of dead period Dokkan video here that I want to talk about, and this is addressing sort of like where are we at with Dokkan right now in terms of characters dropping and things like that, and a recent event. I'm sure, as most of you know at this point. If you don't, then allow me to introduce you to something fun. Dragon Ball Fighters came out, or not came out, but is dropping Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima. Now, Dragon Ball Fighters, if I'm not mistaken, came out in 2017, and if it wasn't 2017, it is 2018. And 8 years to 9 years later, we are going to be getting DLC with a character of someone who dropped this year, right? Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima. Dokkan Battle is consistently getting updates, and they have been for as long as Fighters has been in service. And you guys can see we have a ton of characters here, but what you may notice is we do not have Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima. And at this point, I've started to sort of get to the like, what are we doing Dokkan portion of the waiting period for this specific version of Goku. Now, to the game's defense, right? We'll go over the defense portion and then the questioning, right? I think we can be fair on both sides. We could talk about this from both perspectives. At the start of the year, when the anniversary was planned out and all of these things, we know that these games are developed well in advance. They knew that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was going to be the GDC LR a considerable amount of time, probably at some point in 2024 or even as back as 2023. This was the plan, right? We're going to have this LR here, this LR there, these LRs in this spot, and then for the Transcended Dokkan campaign, we're going to adapt over to this LR and that LR, right? Like all of this stuff is planned out. But with that being said, they also, I'm sure, got information of this form of Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and I feel like it would be a fair assumption to assume that the animations for this character on the base level of like what the character is going to be doing and all of those fun things like are already done, right? The art has already been commissioned, all of this different stuff. But the question sort of portion of that is like, why are we waiting so long? We've seen this before where we have to wait and not capitalize on the hype as much as we possibly could have. I think a really good example of this in recent memory, at least in my time playing this game, some of you I'm sure were watching at this or were playing and watching at this time. But if we go back to a little time of New Year's of 2023, you will vividly remember that we were granted two LRs, and that was Ultimate Gohan and Power Awakened Piccolo. Now, I'm not going to pull it up, but you guys, I'm sure, remember if we go to the LR animation here, at the end of the LR animation, that's what is important here from these characters, right? We were given this, and then we go back to Ultimate Gohan here. We'll wait for this to kind of play out, but we saw this, and then next to him was something else. We saw this. So what we saw in specific was, just wait for it, here he comes. There he is. Now Gohan's going to fade out. There we go. So we saw this next to this. And it was like, okay, we have Ultimate Gohan, or we have Beast Gohan, and we have Arch Piccolo coming to the game. Hoo-ha, everybody's excited. Let's get hyped. This is it. Like, we're all ready to go. Like, this is it. I'm ready to spend my money. Right? My wallet's open, whatever it takes to get Beast Gohan. And then it's revealed we don't have Beast Gohan. It's just this, right? And if we go down here, you can see a lack of a transformation. And little did we know that the release of Beast Gohan, even on the global version in specific, would not be, can we just pull Gohan up from here? Here we go. Would not be until July of 2024. So if we do something really quickly here, let's go ahead and do this. If we have this open right here, Dragon Ball Superhero came out in August of 2022. And we did not get Beast Gohan on the global version, the international version of the game, until July of 2024. Nearly 2 years until we could play as Beast Gohan in Dokkan, right? Not ideal. Now, with the Japanese version, it's going to line up a little bit different. But the fact is, the movie aired in 2022, and the units in the game didn't come out until early 2023, and then later on in 2024. So we run into this problem where we have to wait almost years, literally almost multiple years until we were able to play as Beast Gohan and Dokkan, especially on the international version. So we run into this issue where the hype was nowhere near as much, right? It was more of kind of just excitement that we finally have the character and for the fact of how good he was. But little did we know that Dokkan would just repeat this mistake again with Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima, because we have nothing, not even a shred of Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima. So the beauty of this game is if we do this, we can see all of the releases for the Saiyans of Daima, right? Super Saiyan Goku, free-to-play TORs, and then Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Mini. There's nothing in here that hints towards Super Saiyan 4, right? And then the other character we obviously have is Glorio, and then we have scripted assets of him being in the game. So that's the closest thing that we have is just assets from a story event, super attack things from like the Tamagamis and stuff like that, and nothing that would point towards it getting in the game. And Fighters isn't really like what I'm here to talk about, but it was the inspiration for the topic of the video. Like, why is it that we have to wait 2 years for new forms to come into the game when we can go back in time? Like, this doesn't take much to find, right? If we go to Gogeta here, when did this guy come out, right? We'll go with the global version, but it was technically a little bit earlier. February of 2019. So let's if we go, can we just look this up from here and I don't dox myself, right? Like, if we do, so if we just replace this with Broly, this movie came out in January of 2019 in the US. And if we go to the global version of the game, if we go back to where we were, February 2019, January 2019, February 2019. Do you get the idea here? And Gogeta Blue was the reason that I started playing this game in the first place, right? That was my first ever, like, real sort of experience in playing of the game. I had this Gogeta, I re-rolled to get him. I didn't really know what re-rolling was at the time. I was very new to gachas. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm sure a lot of you were in the same boat that watch my videos, but I just kept making new accounts until I got them, started with this account, and then had kind of like a fun Fusion Movie Heroes team that I was running. And I was having a lot of fun because of the hype of Gogeta Blue, right? I got to play as Gogeta Blue in this game, and it was awesome. It was super sick. And, this guy had like the best animations in the game. I unfortunately didn't pull Broly, but it is what it is, right? But we see this with the hype. If we go to UI Goku, right? So if we go, you guys are, usually I'm like the worst typer. I'm doing okay right now, but if we go to Ultra Instinct Goku, we go right here, and we look at his release date, December of 2017. This was during the anime's release. The end of 2017 was like the peak of UI Goku. The beginning of 2018 was Goku vs. Jiren, the fight that unironically broke the internet, right? Did all types of crazy things, right? We like to say that joke, but this is kind of where it spawned from, like this UI Goku vs. Jiren fight. And we have this hype here. And then we get something as sort of an ode to, like, the creator of the series here, Toriyama. This was sort of the last work that will probably, like, they talked about Daima being his last work and all these different things. And, this form is really important. Like, he helped design it, all these fun things. And it's a shame that we can't, obtain this character in one of the more popular Dragon Ball games when it feels like all these other games are doing this. They already have him in the game. If we look at like Super Saiyan 4 Goku in these other games, right? He's already in Xenoverse. He's in Legends. Like, they're everywhere. And we don't have him in Dokkan, which has, again, been one of the staples of Dragon Ball gaming since 2015. Whether you like Dokkan, whether you don't like Dokkan, whether you're more of a Legends person, whether you prefer the console games, you like fighters, all of these things, one thing that we can say throughout the history of Dokkan is these major forms have been represented very well. And then we run into this problem here where the newest one that we have is Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima, and we cannot play as him in the game, and we are running on, like, to the point where it's almost going to have been a year. And when we kind of, run this schedule by and we talk about it, what I've been saying on my live streams, and this isn't even a plug for those, it's just in general, right? Like, when I talk about it on videos, on streams, when people ask me, they ask me, Vilify, when do you think Super Saiyan 4 is coming to Dokkan? Or what do you think the 11th anniversary is going to be? What do you think the global Dokkan campaign is going to be, or worldwide download celebration? My answer every single time is my betting favorite until we get it is Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima. And I've been wrong. I'm like 0 for 9 at this point. And it just doesn't make sense to me because I feel like that's like the most exciting thing that the game could release right now, right? But like the counter side to that as well is they have been releasing the big boys, right? Super Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Gogeta. We go to like the Global Dokkan campaign. Vegito Blue with heavy air quotes, right? Goku Black Rose, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. We continue to go throughout the year. There's another release of a Gogeta, right? If we go right here, technically Gogeta is part of this, and then Broly from Dragon Ball Super, all extremely popular characters. So big hitters. But you could argue that maybe aside from a few of the fusions, that Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima is more exciting than a lot of this stuff. I'd say more people will be excited for them than Wrathful Broly. More people will be excited for them than this guy, than Goten, Gohan, and Trunks, right? More people would be excited for that than Omega Shenron, than this fake Vegito Blue, right? And we just get to a point where we've had time. Like, there's no way that the Dokkan devs did not know about the form under like an NDA early or something like that, right? Like, there's no way that they were just completely blindsided by Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? So it doesn't really make sense to me why we're this far along in the life cycle of Daima, and again, a very popular, very profitable game for Bandai and stuff like that. Like Dokkan, if Dokkan wasn't profitable, we wouldn't be in its 11th year, right? Like that is just one thing that we have to keep in mind. The game would not be going if it wasn't making money. That's just business. So it doesn't really make sense to me why it is a very high likelihood that he will release in Fighters before we see him in Dokkan, and it is a bit confusing to me. Now, this isn't a slight at Fighters, right? Listen, I'm really bad at fighting games, I'll be honest with you. Like, I can kind of throw hands in Xenoverse, but that's not really a fighting game. So, like, that's kind of it. But, like, Fighters, it's not really my thing. I like Dragon Ball, but I'm not very good at it. Maybe that could be a fun series where it's like, you know, I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. Like, I try to play Fighters or something, but I'd tilt a lot. If you guys would like me raging, that would be a way to do it. So let me know down below what you guys think. I'm just a bit confused at this point on where the hell our boy's at. Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima has been one of the ongoing confusing questions in the community. And unfortunately, I wish I had an answer. And that's why I'm asking, where is he, right? Like, we're to a point where games that had been dead for a pretty long time are getting Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima, and Dokkan still doesn't have it. So, again, let me know down below what you guys think. If you did enjoy this one, don't forget to leave a like before you go. Subscribe if you were new, so that way you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. Thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.